We need like a pre-intro.
We'll figure it
Just
out.
do the fucking intro!
That's our pre-intro. Yo, you gotta leave the party when we go. That's the pre-intro.
Welcome back to another episode of Keepin' It PC. My name's Lucas Drake, and this is episode 24, 23? 24. I am joined with
Cole D.
And also
Pat Ferg.
And we have a special guest for today who knows more sports than I do, so that's why he's in the episode. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Joe Kufiro.
Damn, that you just said your whole name on
did.
this. Somebody's gonna track you down, Joe.
Oh, my bad. Oh, shit, my bad. No, that's Mike's crusty ass hat. Yep.
We have a homeless man sleeping on our floor.
All right. We got
I'll go Elizabeth.
the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs to talk about today.
Cole, we'll start with your Rangers.
Start with my Rangers. So we completed the 3-1.
So last time I was on here, I said it was 1-1, and I said the Rangers weren't going to lose another game in the series. I said they were going to just win the next 3 and move on. They did not do that. They went to Pittsburgh. They lost 2 miserable games. Everyone was like, okay, it's over, 3-1, not coming back. In the past, they've come back from 3-1 down, but they had Lundqvist and they had these veterans that would get them there. This is a young team. Everyone doubted them. But guess what? A convincing Game 5 win. Game 6 was closer, but still pretty convincing, 5-3. And then Game 7 at the Garden. You never know what's going to happen when you get to a Game 7. Overtime victory, and the Rangers are moving on.
They came back in each one of those games, too, which was
perseverance.
Which was impressive, but I still think there's like clear problems with the Rangers. The defense sucks. Shesterkin is our only defense, and that you can't have that as a team.
I saw somebody breaking this.
Your defense can't be your goalie.
I saw us breaking this down. There's like Crosby's just wide. Like throughout the series, Crosby and like was just wide open in front of the net. Like nobody, like they were just following other people, and they're like, "It's Sidney Crosby."
And
get on him.
A big part of that was that Lindgren was out. Ryan, who's our top line defender, along with Adam Fox, who's obviously the best defender on our team. So he was out, which is a big part of it. But also was that Trouba didn't play particularly well.
Yeah,
he was throwing his body around, but I mean, other than that, he was pretty much useless out there. Keandre Miller played pretty well, but our bottom paired defensive unit, Patrick Nemeth was awful this series. He was terrible.
But I heard, you see the youngsters even during the really bad games, they were playing well.
The third line,
like Lafreniere,
Hedel, and Kakko, they played pretty well this series, and that's going to be huge in the series against the Hurricanes because the Canes have way more depth than the Rangers. I mean, their fourth line is damn near better than our third line.
If I'm not mistaken, you said even if the Rangers won this series, they would get swept by the Carolina Hurricanes.
I think it's. I don't know. I want to believe in the Rangers, but I don't. Like the Canes were 3-1 against the Rangers this season.
Well, I'm voting against the Rangers because I'm an Islander fan. Joey's also an Islander fan. Yep. Joey, who's your favorite Ranger player?
Shesterkin. So Cole, who do you got winning the Stanley Cup?
I think the Avs win it. I honestly think it's gonna be Canes versus Avalanche.
Yep.
I'm thinking.
I think those are the two teams, and I think the Avalanche are pretty clearly the best team.
Yeah. I just think Avalanche are gonna be in it.
I
think Colorado is just clearly.
If I had to bet on it, I would definitely say the Avalanche are at least making the final.
Yeah.
Their offense is just too potent. I mean,
I just don't. I thought Calgary was the best chance of beating them, but then I saw how they played against the Stars, and I just don't think they stand a chance anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that Game 7, they went to overtime.
I just don't believe in Calgary anymore. I honestly would take the Oilers in the series. I thought they played much better in round 1 than Calgary did against the Kings, who are a better team than the Stars. But I think the winners of the series are going to be. If I had to pick Carolina Rangers, I'm going Carolina in 6.
Yeah.
Florida versus Tampa Bay, I'm going Tampa Bay in 6. Avs Blues.
Avs in 3.
I'm going Avs in 5. I think the Blues are good enough to win a game against the Avs.
Mm-hmm.
Oilers Calgary, I'm going to go Oilers in 7.
Okay. I mean, that was just an electric goal from Panarin. Game 7 overtime. Yeah. I mean, that was.
And his goal scoring went down the season, but he's been a huge part of the offense in terms of like being like the quarterback on the ice. Yeah. He's like finding open guys. He's making Andrew Kopp look like an absolute superstar.
We mentioned it last episode. There's nothing quite like playoff overtime hockey. Just the amount, the pressure and like the nervous energy
I
you
mean, we
have.
talked
And
about-
I didn't even have a dog in the fight. So
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like I'm still like sweating bullets. Like who's gonna score? Because every shot could just go in. It could take a deflection. Then your season's over. Especially in a game 7.
And,
I mean,
and we talked about
just
game 1,
terrible.
Penguins Rangers, and we saw how that played out. Like Shesterkin was gassed in
Yeah.
his couple games, and he had. I mean, you look at his numbers from the series; it's not impressive. But if you really dig into it, he kind of just had 2 bad games where he let in. You know, he had the 7 goals against in one of the games, which is not good, obviously. But you know, I didn't think he was as bad as his numbers looked.
I'm just gonna say this: if the Penguins had a true NHL level goalie and not Louis Domingue in net,
They probably
and
would, yeah.
and probably Crosby for Game 6,
if Tristan,
they would have won the game.
Honestly, if Tristan Jarry was
If
playing,
Jari was playing, it's Penguins in 6.
Yeah, they wouldn't have let up that
I might
last
even
goal
say
to send it
Penguins
to
in-
overtime.
Yeah.
I might even say Penguins in 5, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like the Rangers,
Like Louis Domingue, just fucking garbage, dude.
the Rangers won the series, but I was not.
Do you see
impressed.
the fucking thing? It bounced off him, and he's like, "Where is it?" And
Yeah.
it's like in the net behind them, but the guy's like screaming, "It's behind you!"
Yeah. I mean, the Rangers won the series, but they had a lot of problems. I mean, the power play was good. The penalty kill wasn't. You know, it was a whole.
And
They had some bright
They
spots.
haven't played good 5-on-5 all season, right?
No, I mean they did after the deadline, but
Yeah.
it wasn't great against the Penguins. Especially the defense was horrendous. They're getting outshot every game. More scoring chances for the Penguins every game, and that's a problem against the Hurricanes because they have 4 lines that can go out there and play.
So Cole, who's gonna win? Carolina or the Rangers?
Carolina in 6.
No Rangers to the cup?
No.
Wow.
As much as I'd like that, I don't think they're. I mean, if the defense can somehow play better, which I don't think they will, because they haven't really. They did for a while after the deadline, but I mean, Shesterkin's our defense, and that's a problem when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like you can't have your goalie be your defense, and then the 3rd line and 4th line need to step up. 'Cause
Yeah.
The Carolina's 3rd and 4th line can play.
And I was reading somewhere that the Rangers try too many of these finesse shots, and really in the playoffs, a good playoff hockey goal is when, like, you can't tell who scored the goal because he's either right in front of the net and it took a deflection, or there's like a bunch of sticks going on. Like that's the way you win in the playoffs. So do you think that do you think the Rangers will be able to adapt their playing style of trying to make these finesse goals from half ice, or you know, just trying to get down to the nitty gritty right in front of the goal and try to score goals that way? Or do you think that will be like a downfall of the team?
I disagree with that. Like the Rangers try too much. They don't shoot enough is the problem. Like Chris Kreider probably led the league in deflection goals in front of the net. Like that's how he got probably 40 goals this season.
Yeah.
Like so he's the guy that's going to get in there and do the dirty work. But it's like Panarin passing up open shots, Zibanejad passing up open shots, Fox passing up open shots. Like these guys especially on the power play, like get the puck on net. Like you're not gonna teams in the playoffs that are successful, as stupid as this sounds, like the teams that shoot a high volume of shots and have lower shooting percentages because they shoot so much because they're not worried about necessarily getting the best shot.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of goals in hockey are like they hit someone in the hip and it goes
in the shin, and it just goes in. Yeah.
Like the Avalanche, they're not worried about always getting the best shot. Like they're just gonna fire the puck on net. They're gonna have guys that come in and slap the puck in. Like that's how most of their obviously McKinnon and Makar and Rantanen, they're gonna score like incredible goals. But if you look at their lineup like Landeskog and Kadri and Nichushkin, they're scoring like tap in goals off rebounds and like missed shots off the boards. Like that's how they're scoring a lot of their goals.
And that's how
they're not worried about just like Panarin needs to shoot more. His goals, as much as you love him getting assists, he needs to get the puck on net and get assists through a shot off the goalie's pad and it rebounds out to Comp and then he scores. Instead of all these shots that like they're relying on high shooting percentages to score, which they're scoring. But
all right, so Panarin, if you're watching this or listening to this, get some more shots on goal, dude.
they need to shoot more. Like that's how it is. Like
that's why he's got his,
Kreider,
his game
how
winner.
many
Shooter's got to shoot.
How many open shots did Kreider pass up in Game 7? I love Chris Kreider. He's my favorite player ever in the NHL. I grew up watching him. Like the Rangers pass up way too many shots that they need to be taking, and they give up too many shots.
All right.
So in Carolina, it's hard for me to see the Rangers beating
What was their?
Carolina.
What was their? It was 1-3 in the regular season.
They were 1-3 against the Carolina in the regular season. Now, Freddie Anderson's out, and he was one of the best goalies in the league this year, which is big.
Dude,
So
why? What's with the goalies being out against any
Rangers.
team the Rangers play?
I know.
What is this? You
And
got
the fact that
you
we're
got
barely-
a team assistant back there breaking some kneecaps.
The
huh?
fact that it took us 7 games to beat the Penguins with Louis Domingue goal, and it took overtime in Game 7.
Louis Domingue.
I don't know how anyone could see. Like, the Canes won in 7 against the Bruins, but
The Bruins
looked
like
much better.
yeah.
than
The Bruins are
Rangers
playing
winning in
very
7.
well.
And the Bruins are a great team.
The Bruins were
Yeah.
playing well. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have picked the Bruins to beat the Rangers too. Whether if they.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, this series comes down to if the Rangers' bottom 6 can perform, and Shesterkin has to be damn near perfect.
All right.
Because you just know going into series, Carolina's going to outshoot them. It's not going to change at this point. Like they are.
Sturkin needs a legendary playoff hockey performance.
If the Rangers want
Or
a
performance.
real chance of winning the cup, Shesterkin's got to be like perfect.
All right. Well, moving on to the NBA playoffs because we had 2 Game 7s this past weekend. Two not very close
No,
games
not
at all.
close at all.
We'll start with the Suns and the Mavs. This game was over at halftime.
Yeah.
Suns had 27 points. It was honestly just the most pathetic Game 7 I've ever watched in my life.
You know, they actually had the
By the way-
27 points was like the least amount of points and a half in a playoff game in like NBA history. Like they tied the Celtics in
I
like,
know we're going to get to
2013.
Pat Bev in a second, but one thing he said I do agree with. Like, I almost think the Mavs are better than the Suns. Like,
Listen,
as a team.
as
I really do.
in my heart, if you win a 7-game series, you are the better team. I honestly think that's true. You can say choke job, you can
I
say
think
they
like
choke.
90% of the time that's true.
Unlike barring any serious injuries like Kevin Love and Kyrie going down in 2018, Cavs had no shot. And not saying the Cavs were a better team than the Warriors, but you know, it's barring like serious injury to star players. If you have a fully healthy team, you're going head to head in a 7-game series, and the team that wins is the better team.
And the Mavericks, their last 2 games that they won were very convincing. It
Yes.
was like there was a lot of blowouts in that series.
Yeah.
You know, Suns won one of the first games by like 20 something, won the next game double digits, and then the last 2 games the Mavericks win by double digits, and then they win by what 30, 33?
Yeah, 33. Luka had 27 points at the half. He equaled the Suns' entire team. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton combined to go 1 for 15 in the first half. Chris Paul had 1 point through 3 quarters.
Yep. Chris
So,
Paul
I
and Devin
mean-
Booker, 0 made field goals in the first half. Only
Yeah.
points off free throws.
64.
But again, like I really don't think the Mavericks have that bad of a roster. Like I think it's overblown. Like obviously,
No, I mean-
I think the thing is like Luka's clearly their best player.
I think it's
makes it
so
seem
far head and shoulders above everybody else that it's like, oh, everyone else
But,
stinks.
like, you
But,
look
I mean,
at
you
the
got
roster-
Jalen Brunson, Frank Ntilikina.
And because of
You had to sneak Frank.
No, but
Oh my
I saw
God.
something. I saw
He
some.
had to, bro.
he
Dude,
did,
I saw something that's like Frank Ntilikina closing out in Game 7, sending us
Yeah.
to the conference finals,
it's
just like I pictured.
It's like
Representing
Warriors
the
fans
Knicks.
sneaking Kevon Looney.
Yeah.
in there.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, like their team
the
isn't
future's
bad.
bright. Kevon Looney,
Their team isn't
23.
bad. Like
Davis Bertans.
Davis Bertans, Dwight Powell,
Dinwiddie.
Dorian Finney-Smith is a
Dorian
great player.
Finney-Smith was shooting the lights out in a couple of those games.
I mean, he's a 40% three-point shooter, plays great defense.
Reggie
Like,
Bullock, next legend.
You know, he kind of reminds me of like Jeremy Grant from the
Jeremy Grant.
Jerami.
Dude, that's how his name is spelled.
Salami.
Jeremy
It's-
I think
Grant.
it's
Jeremy Grant.
No, I call him Jeremy.
All right.
Jeremy Grant. Remember him on the Nuggets?
He was the Pistons' leading scorer this
Yeah,
year
but
before he got
remember
injured.
him on the Nuggets in the bubble? Like
Yeah,
how,
he was
like,
great.
That's what Dorian Finney-Smith is to this team. Like
Mhm.
3 and D, gonna play good defense and shoot threes in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
And
for
then
the
Reggie Bullock is shooting well. Jalen Brunson's averaging 20.
Dude, Bullock's a
23.
fucking bucket. He was on the Knicks. He was hitting.
Bullock's-
He's a great three-point
Bullock's
shooter.
always been a good shooter.
He's
a
always
streaky shooter.
I know he's
yeah.
kind. It's like a joke. He's kind of like one of those meme players, but like he's a great shooter. And
Yeah.
he's like useful.
Mhm.
So
And
the Mavs, I don't. Even if you want to say the Suns are, I think that's a closer matchup than people might have.
I don't know why everyone was overwhelmingly picking the Suns. I mean,
Yeah, all the
I mean,
experts-
the Suns won 64 games. They were by far the best team in the regular season.
I
They
do
have
agree.
great
But
chemistry.
once you get
Suns
the
have great
playoffs, I mean
chemistry.
that first round series, even against
Pelicans.
the Pelicans, it wasn't totally. They missing Booker for
Yeah,
some of the
they're
games.
missing Booker,
They were missing
but
Booker for some of the games, but it still wasn't very convincing.
But like, let's
No,
be
it
honest. Like, if Chris Paul doesn't like completely fall apart in games, what was it, 3 through 7?
Yeah, Chris Paul wasn't
Or 2
having
through
many
7?
good games.
Like he was just.
Chris Paul's 0-7 in Game 7.
He is.
Thank you, Lucas. No, he can't get it done. He just can't get it. And he's like, they're like, Chris, you're gonna retire, and he's like, oh no, I'll be back here next year.
Is this a good time to talk about where Chris Paul ranks all time?
I think it is.
I think.
All right,
Chris Paul.
I think there's
on
no
the point guard list, right?
point guard.
Top point
I have a
guards
question.
all time.
No doubt. He is a top
8.
Who are we
8.
Yeah.
Who are we counting?
I think he's top 5.
Who are we
No,
counting?
like
as a point guard?
no doubt top 8.
No doubt
Who
top.
are we counting as point guard? Are we counting Jerry West and Oscar Robertson?
Yes.
Are we counting both of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we counting Jerry West?
I think Jerry West was a definitive point guard. I don't know about Oscar Robertson.
No, Jerry West. There's a big debate about Jerry West.
I think Oscar was definitely a point guard. But
Oscar Robertson was definitely a point guard.
I don't know
can
about
think
Jerry.
of
Jerry
Magic, Curry,
off the
Oscar
top of my
Robertson,
head,
John Stockton.
He was a combo
I
guard.
would take Magic, Steph.
Yeah.
If we're counting Oscar.
Yeah,
if
we're
counting
Oscar.
Jerry.
You're taking Jerry West over Chris Paul.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
I'm taking-
No, Jerry
Really?
West is
Okay,
very good.
obviously,
for his
like
era.
not like.
Just
Obviously,
career-wise.
The game is
career-wise.
different back then,
If
but
we're-
Jerry West was
Okay,
very
this is
good at
good.
his time.
Isaiah Thomas.
Yes.
Or Chris Paul.
I'm
Oh,
taking
no,
Isaiah
Isaiah
Thomas.
Thomas.
Just because I've seen him.
Isaiah Thomas was
They're
won
like
2 rings.
Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas are like the same player,
Okay,
except
but
Isaiah
this-
is more athletic.
This
and he
really
won.
comes down to how much you value the ring. Because I think Chris Paul has much better statistical stats than some of these players, but he hasn't been able to win the ring.
I think Isaiah Thomas is like an athletic Chris Paul that actually proved he could win. But like, here's what like Chris Paul and John Stockton. Neither of them won. I feel like I'm taking Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
I think Chris Paul is better than Steve Nash.
Yes.
Even though,
I think-
even though Steve Nash won 2 like very arguably weak MVPs, I still
Well,
wanna
I think
take
one of those
Chris
should have
Paul.
gone to Shaq.
Chris Paul had definitely had.
You could argue Chris Paul should have won an MVP in
Oh yeah, back in
Charlotte.
when he was in
But- to be
Charlotte.
honest,
But
when
Yeah.
he
hold
was
on, how many
Lakers.
rings is he winning if he goes to the Lakers with that
with
trade that
the
was
trade that got
blocked?
vetoed
See,
by
that's a
Stern.
good point.
Yeah,
Like
that's very good.
I mean, you got screwed out of a couple rings going
that
to
is a good
Lakers.
point. And to be fair, like
And
He
also
was-
he
he got
was
hurt a lot in
2
the
games.
playoffs.
He got
two
hurt.
games away from a ring last year.
if we're
And
really being honest, this is the only year he's really choked.
This is the year where
there's some of those.
there was a
Clippers days.
fully
Some of those.
Some of them,
Clippers
but a
runs.
lot of times he was playing hurt. Like
Oh yeah, he was very hurt in that series
He
against
was
the
always
Spurs.
injured.
They
This
lost.
spring,
yeah,
that
he was
game
hobbling.
7.
He hit that game winner with on one leg.
Yeah.
So and he got injured against the Golden State when he was with the
Oh
Rockets.
Here's a
no,
question.
with the
Here's a
Rockets,
question.
that was like close.
are we
'cause
counting?
Yeah.
Are we counting James Harden as point guard?
No, he's
James Harden?
dude, he doesn't.
I don't know.
Does he pass? Really? Do you watch
I mean,
James
he
Harden?
averages.
He passes
11
now,
assists
but
a
he
game.
didn't pass for like
He-
the first.
but let's
6
be
Because he
honest,
can't
years
shoot
of his
anymore
career.
because he's a
he
bum
was-
ass,
Okay,
lazy ass.
look at
motherfucker.
James Harden on the Rockets. Like, how is he not the point guard?
James
of that
Harden on
team?
the Rockets is very different
I
from
swear-
James Harden.
Well,
on
he's
any
the
I
team.
main-
swear
wait,
he's only the.
But whoa. Is LeBron James? He's just the main ball handler.
Okay,
is
but
that the
who-
point guard?
Who was the point guard on the Nets? Was it Kyrie or James? Like, when I'm watching the game, I'm thinking
Harden's
Harden as
shooting
the point
guard. No, he's a shooting guard.
guard.
I think he doesn't have like.
It's very. We're in an era where like there are more and more.
There's so many
positionless
combo guards.
players.
Okay,
There's so many
if
combo
we're counting
guards.
Harden as the point guard, I'm taking Harden over Chris Paul too.
Oh,
I think Harden's a definite shooting guard. 100%. I've never seen
All
him.
right,
I've never seen him at
I'm
point
just
guard.
thinking of.
Yeah.
All right, so Chris Paul 6.
He's
below-
He's probably. I'm not.
So yeah,
for the sake of
thinking
argument, I'm not going to
Magic,
count.
Curry, Isaiah Thomas,
Jerry West,
Jerry
Oscar
West.
Robertson.
What about John Stockton?
I think he's better than Jock Stockton.
I'm not taking Stockton over.
I think he's
I'm
better
sorry,
than
I'm
Josh
just not.
So yeah,
I'm
I
taking
think
Steve
he's
Nash over
like
John
kind of the
Stockton, too.
lower end of like the top 7, top 8, something like that.
So Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer.
No,
no,
Chris
no
Paul's
doubt.
for sure.
definitely-
No
Chris
doubt.
Paul's for sure.
Hall of Fame career, and if he's able to get a ring one of these years, which I just don't think it. He's just
If
one
he
of those.
were to get a
He is
ring-
just one of those players that's never going to win it. I
If he
just
were-
think it.
yeah.
I just think that's how it is.
Here's a legit question for you guys. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and I really don't know the answer. Who's the greatest point guard of all time? And I know a lot of people are just automatically going to say Magic, but Steph makes it.
All right. So
Steph in his
what do
prime
you
was
what do you
amazing.
want? What do you want as from a point guard? Do you want what Magic had with the ball facilitating the
I
floors
mean, Magic
and making the
Magic
passes?
in his rookie year started at like center in the finals,
Like
and
he
they
is
won.
know,
to
that's
me,
why I'm
he
like-
epitomizes
That- he was
what a point
really-
guard should be. I think Curry
But if you
is a
think-
much better
But
shooter,
Curry,
and
if you're talking about
but Curry-
legacy-wise, Curry had a bigger impact on the game than Magic did.
I don't know.
no
I
Magic
don't- I
Magic
think-
and
I
Bird
think literally-
saved the NBA.
I think literally on the game of basketball, like
Jordan
how it's
Magic
played,
Magic and Bird saved the NBA.
I think
I'm
it's
Yeah, but
like-
that's
impact on basketball. There's two different ways to look at it. Magic saved the game from like dying.
the game isn't where it is right now
Steph
without
changed.
Steph.
Steph changed the way the game is played.
For the
But Magic did it in a
honestly,
way, too.
I think
Magic also did as well.
I don't think
there's a
Curry,
LeBron.
as much as you want to say he had a great influence on the game, I think he changed the way the game is played for the worse. I don't think hoisting up 53s a game is more entertaining than how Magic and the Showtime Lakers played at all. If you're watching a game, would you rather watch Magic like doing crazy fucking dribble moves going down the court, lobbing it to Kareem?
See, that
or would you rather watch 53s?
You still have that kind of play in today's
but
basketball.
it's definitely. I mean, it's.
Yes,
minority.
It's different, but in general,
definitely
you have
more shooting,
much
but-
higher scoring games in today's NBA.
Well, yeah.
You got teams averaging like 100, 115, 120 points. You got games
See,
that are like
I think-
130 to 133.
I think that shit-
3-pointers are better than 2-pointers.
I think that shit is so overblown. Like the people from the 90s, like, oh my god, games are like 120 to because they're shooting.
You never see a game nowadays where it's like 90 to 85. That would be an average
Yeah,
score.
but these people who are like huge 90s fans and like, oh my god, the 90s.
Yeah.
Bro, they're shooting the same amount of free throws now as they were then. The fouls aren't any different. They're still shooting the same amount of free
They're
throws.
shooting more
And
3-pointers. That's it.
The only difference is they're shooting more threes.
Yeah.
There's no hand checking. But
And people are trying to say
my
that,
God.
maybe the 90s was like a more defensive era. It's like, no, it's just people in the game got more talented. It's like the defensive level, like, is still like there. It's just people are harder to guard because offensive talent is just insane.
it's not even that. It's there are way more players that can do a lot offensively.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like Michael Jordan could play in this era and be one of the like best player in the league. Obviously, like the best players from then would still be the best players now. It's the difference between like the role players, like the middle of your roster.
Role players are
Like Jalen Brunson. Like
bro,
Jalen Brunson would eat in the 90s. Absolutely eat.
Like I'm sorry,
Like the best player in the fucking
you
league.
drop J.R. Smith in the 90s. He's gonna look like Vince Carter.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, he just is.
But you mentioned Patrick Beverley earlier, and I want to read a couple of what he had to say about Chris Paul because I mean he just went. I mean they invited him on NBA Today or whatever the fuck he's talking.
Ever since he's gotten a platform from
this
that
dude-
big stunt with the Timberwolves this year, won a couple playoff games, won the play-in game. He's like he's taking
this
full
dude
advantage.
is fucking
He's the biggest
going out of here.
biggest hater in the NBA.
All right, so here's what he said about Chris Paul. He said, "Man, ain't nobody worried about Chris Paul when you play the Phoenix Suns. Nobody in the NBA. CP can't guard anybody, man. Everybody in the NBA know that. You know those cones in the summer that you dribble around? What does the cone do? Nothing. He's a cone."
First of all,
Also, then he said, "I stay out all night when I know I'm guarding Chris Paul tomorrow. I'm in bed by 8 when I know I have to play Steph Curry."
Yeah.
the
Meanwhile,
next day."
last time they matched up, Chris Paul dropped 41 points on him.
Yeah, maybe you should go home and watch some film, but I don't know.
All right, Cole. What do you guys say?
What do you got?
first of all, Chris Paul is a 7-time All-Defensive First-Team player. Multiple of those were when the coaches voted for it. When the coaches made the decision for that.
Patrick Beverley thinks he's the only. Patrick Beverley legitimately thinks he's the greatest defensive player of all time, and he thinks he's the only player in the league that actually plays defense.
like real.
Oh my
defense
god! Like,
and whatever.
bro, I don't
It's
like.
hilarious.
I'm not a big Jason Tatum fan, obviously, but like he
No,
literally went
whoa! You love
he-
Jason Tatum.
he went on First Take today and was basically saying Jason Tatum doesn't play defense. Like Jason Tatum
was literally
Jason
like one
Tatum
of
might not give
better
100% on
up-and-coming two-way
defense
players.
every.
No
every
one gives
game.
100%. I'm
Stars
sorry.
can't. Stars
They can't.
can't.
They
Michael
can't.
Jordan didn't. I'm sorry.
No,
He didn't.
no way.
Scottie Pippen guarded Magic in that finals. Like Scottie Pippen guarded the best player most of the time. Like I don't want to hear this. Like the guy who has to score the most cannot give 100. That's why Kawhi, when he was on the Spurs before,
Yeah.
he was the leading scorer. He was a great
He
defender.
was guarding LeBron.
Now in
Yeah.
the
He was.
NBA, he's not guarding the. You can't if you're the leading. You have to put more.
You have to
effort in
preserve your
offense.
energy and score the points. When
It's not
you-
possible to like. Kobe didn't do it. Jordan didn't do it. All these old fucking people like, oh, Jordan, he put 100. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. He was guarding.
Every possession,
he was guarding-
would.
He was guarding fucking Danny Ainge.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Anyway, that's my little. Jordan.
All right, so what are the realistic chances that the Mavericks win the NBA championship? This is their
All right,
first conference finals
so,
since their 2011 championship run.
Given that the Warriors are frauds, the Celtics are frauds.
Whoa.
Every team's
whoa,
a fraud,
are
Cole.
frauds.
Every
Cole.
team's a fraud.
Cole?
They have 100% chance of winning the finals.
I just don't like the
They just
Luka matches like that Mavericks team so well because they're not like he's so ball dominant in his offense that like he just the fact that like everything runs through him and then he has guys like Jalen Brunson and Dinwiddie who are knockdown shooters and they can run the point a little bit.
This is gonna sound crazy,
Oh, no.
but Luka is like James Harden with like
the slowest
Kobe
step back.
mentality. Like
He's like James Harden if he cared about playing basketball.
Patrick's like James Harden doesn't give a fuck about basketball.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
Dude,
Why do you think, dude? His team's in the gym practicing.
He
he's at
gives up
strip
on
clubs.
teams.
Like he doesn't give a fuck.
He gives up on teams
all the time.
When James Harden tried for the Nets, he was so good. It's like what you seen with Philly. Like he was trying with Philly this year, but in James Harden's first game with the Nets, he had a 30-point triple-double. In James Harden's first 2-3 games with the Sixers, he had like 30-point double-doubles in each of the first couple games, and then everyone was saying he's this next Shaq and Kobe.
But remember when Kobe said that Harden's never going to win playing the way he does? Like Luka's Luka's proving that wrong. Luka's playing the way Harden did.
No.
He is.
He's not. No,
It's Luka.
I disagree.
It's Luka isos. It's less.
I
now,
disagree.
It's less now, Jason Kidd, but it's that style of basketball. It's just not a D'Antoni style.
Because, okay, I mean,
it's not to the point where because it's D'Antoni coaching, where it's literally the
James
offense
Harden.
give
No
Harden
mid-range.
the ball.
James Harden is like one of the most talented players to ever play the game, but he just can't be bothered to put in the extra work.
He gave up on the Nets team,
I don't
and
think
he
it's
had
the
an
extra
ankle
work. I
injury.
just think he's like.
Dude, what do you mean it's not the extra work?
I don't think it's that, bro. I think like I've never heard from his teammates that he doesn't work hard. Like you saw
you
there
can
were
see
multiple
it.
statements
You
from
saw-
Kevin
Dude,
Durant,
you saw
Kyrie
Embiid.
Irving.
After this series, he was like, "Yeah, man, I wish we still had Jimmy Butler because this Harden guy doesn't do anything."
Well,
They literally
no.
proved that they did not have a leader in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've also heard reports saying how much he mentored Tyrese Maxey and.
Oh,
and
come on.
Tyrese Maxey
Dude,
was
you know what he
chewing
did in
him
Houston?
out.
You know what he said? He showed up to training camp fat and out of shape because he couldn't be bothered to freaking go to the workouts. He was too busy fucking storing coke at a strip club.
Tyrese Maxey was blowing up on him on the sideline at
Yeah.
the end of that series.
So Draymond and Kevin Durant fought, and you're gonna tell me that they don't work hard or they're not? Dude, like teammates fight.
yeah.
Mario Chalmers.
Champions.
Mario Chalmers was screaming at LeBron in the playoffs one time. Does that mean LeBron doesn't work hard? James, you could see watching the Sixers after they got traded.
Sixers got traded.
The Sixers got traded?
After
Dude.
no after Harden
China
got
basketball league.
That's a
Did
huge
we get the
trade.
Did we get the Shanghai Sharks or whatever?
Did we get Jimmy Fredette?
all right.
Oh my god! Jeremy Lin.
After Harden got traded, to the Sixers, you could see Sixers players doing James Harden's move. Tyrese Maxey talked about how James Harden took him through a whole practice, teaching him the step back, and you saw Tyrese Maxey starting to do
I
that.
see Maxey
You saw
doing
Joel
step back.
Embiid starting to do that.
Listen.
I think it's overblown how bad.
He's
James
not like a
Harden is
Barry
as a teammate.
Bonds. He's not like a Barry Bonds teammate where he curses out all the players and he hates everybody.
He's
he
not
doesn't
gonna
have
unite
a championship mentality.
He's not.
And he's not
He's
a he's
Absolutely
a
not.
horrible leader. He is one of the
Absolutely not.
worst leaders
I didn't say he's a
of
great
all
leader.
time.
Yep, he
But
does not have a championship
but I don't think
mentality
he always
at
needs
all.
to be. And I don't always think. Yes, would you want your star player to be the leader of your team? But I don't think it always works that way. Like, I don't think it always.
In the
is
NBA, it
that
has
way.
to. I think in NBA,
I
it
don't
has
think
to.
it does.
Kind of has to.
I don't think it does.
NBA
I think
has to.
there's a lot of teams where it's not. Is Jason Tatum leader of the Celtics? I don't think
Yes.
so. I think
Yes.
it's Al Horford.
Yes.
I think it's Al Horford.
Al
Marcus
Horford?
Smart. It's Marcus Smart and Al Horford. And
No,
you
no,
can't-
no,
Maybe Al Horford is like a fan favorite or whatever.
No,
but Jason
Marcus
Tatum
Smart is the heart of
leader
the team. He lays everything on the
Jason,
floor.
you're
Jason
telling me
Tatum's
Jason
the
Tatum.
leader.
You're telling me Jason Tatum's the one in the locker room talking to the team. He's the one. No, it's Marcus Smart and Al Horford, bro. It is.
Oh, you're in the locker room?
No, but leadership is not.
Are you in the locker room with the Sixers?
No, hold up. The leadership is not going around like saying, "Hey guys, you're going to do a better job," and they're like, "You're doing a great job." It's
Setting
playing
an example.
It's setting an example.
Playing an
like
intensity.
LeBron. You think
Okay,
LeBron?
That's completely different. The leader on the court. But even then,
That's what
even
the
then,
best player has to be.
Jason
Even
Tatum
then,
isn't going to
Embiid-
go out handing
even
out
then-
high fives on the bench.
What,
He's
he's
going to
give
go
out
out.
little snacks? Oh, great job, great first half, Al.
He's going to go out and he's
Even
going to
then-
block Kevin Durant, and his
Even
teammates
then-
are going
even
to
then-
see that,
even
and they're
then-
going to be like, "Wow, this guy wants to
even
win."
then, the Sixers, it has to be Embiid. It's Harden's been with the team for how many months? 3.
I'm not saying.
No,
on
Embiid had to be the leader of that team.
And let's be
I don't
honest.
know why they looked at Harden.
And let's be honest, you're the Sixers. You're giving Harden the supermax.
You can't.
I
You
am.
can't. He's
Dude,
washed.
He doesn't.
No,
You cannot give
I'm
him
sorry,
the
he's
supermax
not washed.
contract.
No team.
I'm sorry, Chris Middleton has the supermax.
You
I'm
cannot.
giving James Harden the supermax.
But James Harden's gonna make a lot
No
more than Chris
team can give.
Middleton.
No, he's not. It's a
no
supermax.
team
They're
can
gonna
give
do the same
James
shit.
Harden a supermax.
I'm sorry. He's average.
You can't do it.
You
Hold on.
can't,
Dude,
he can't
if the
stay
Sixers,
committed.
if I'm a Sixers fan,
22, 8, and 10.
if I'm
You're
a
not getting
Sixers
the
fan,
supermax?
and I'm a Sixers fan, who's the GM of the Sixers? Alton Brand? Is
You know
he
how
one?
many? You know how many guys have the supermax who are worse than Harden?
John
No,
Wall.
but it's not that. You can. right now he's probably better than some of the
John Wall's on the Supermax.
Dude,
No, but it
but
doesn't
he's
matter.
declining.
It doesn't matter his stats. Like honestly, 22, 8, and 10. You'll see that out of some like dominant role players.
Let's look at his.
If I'm
his
the
past,
if I'm the
his past
Sixers,
100 games, averaging 23, 8, and 11.
If I'm
43,
matter.
34.
and that's when he was the only player on the Nets because Kyrie was off meditating and not taking the vaccine,
Exactly.
and
Kevin
KD
Durant
was injured.
for like
I'm
20
sorry,
games.
like if I'm the Sixers, I'm running it back with Harden and Embiid.
You're-
No.
I
Dude,
am.
if
No.
I am,
They've
if
had
can't
3
do
months to play with
I'm
each
the
other.
Sixers GM and Ellen Brand says I'm giving James Harden the Supermax, I'm firing his ass.
If
off
they
right
have-
now. That's
What's
set-
the other
that's
option?
setting-
What's the other option?
They can't give him.
Who
the
are they going to
Supermax.
sign? Who are they going to sign?
It doesn't matter how talented James Harden
Who are
is.
they going to draft?
He
Who are they
can't
going to sign?
Stay committed to a team. He can't stay committed
who
to
are
a
they-
team.
What's their other option?
James Harden
though?
is not gonna
What-
play
what is their
82
other
games for the
option? What is their
76ers?
other option?
James Harden isn't going to
What's
play
their other
70
option?
plus games
What's
for the
their other
76ers.
option? I don't want to hear this James Harden. How many times is James Harden?
You
Look at him with the
develop your young
Rockets.
core. You
Look at-
develop Maxey. You give him more opportunity.
You don't
to
have
develop
time with
him.
Embiid. He's constantly hurt. He's 20. What is he? 27 years old. He's gonna be.
That's prime.
Centers are done, bro.
That's prime.
Centers
in
are
the
done.
NBA.
And he's gonna be out of the league by
27
30.
to
Centers
30.
are done. What are you talking about?
Centers-
Centers are better in the NBA than they have
Centers are
ever
the best
been.
players in the league. Jokic, Embiid, those are the best
No,
players
no,
in the league
I'm
right
talking
now.
about centers. Centers have to retire earlier most of the time, especially a guy who like Embiid, who's 7'2", 260, who's constantly hurt. Embiid's gonna be out of the league by the time he's 32, 33. Maybe not out of the league, but he's not gonna be the same guy.
He's not going to be a singer. He's not going to be out of the league.
If I'm the Sixers
honestly,
GM, I'm running back with Harden. If it doesn't
think,
work, I trade
I
him
already
next
think
year.
the Sixers championship window passed.
But
I
what-
think
okay.
the process failed
I just
already.
can't see-
If it didn't work with Embiid and
can
Simmons
just trade
and
that-
Butler and
trade-
Tobias Harris, it's not going to work.
But if you're-
Trade Harden for a play now package. You don't need all the picks or
But that's
whatever.
what I'm
If
saying.
you want to say trade Harden
Re-sign
for
him.
guys who can play now. Even James
Re-sign
Harden.
him. If it works, it
Re-sign
works.
him, have fun losing in the first or second round of
What's
the
the
James
other
Harden
option? Don't and
has
lose in the first and second
proven-
round. Like,
James Harden has proven he can't win in the playoffs.
okay, but what's the other option? Lose in the playoffs because you
Trade him for
you're
a
gonna
play
lose
now
in the playoffs
package.
either way.
You're not going to
But you have
trade.
to re-sign him to do
You're
that.
not going to trade James Harden for guys who like superstars.
This is
You
what I'm
get
saying. This
good
is what I'm
role
saying.
players. You get good
But
scorers.
James Harden is not
can
going
contribute on
James
offense.
Harden is not going to sign anything other than Supermax. And if the Sixers don't give it to him, someone's going to.
Yeah.
James Harden
And they're
is-
idiots.
James Harden is getting the Supermax, whether we like it or not. Whether you think he deserves it or not, he's getting
Doesn't
it.
deserve it.
Someone's going to give it to him. What I'm saying is the Sixers, you got to be the team to give it to him. You traded Ben Simmons for him. You traded for him. What do you have to lose? You sign him, it doesn't work, you trade him. You don't sign him, then you don't sign him, and you lose again. So you either lose or you re-sign him, and maybe it works, and you somehow
Cole, but
win something.
Cole, when he's like 230 pounds,
He's played 21 games with the
and
Sixers.
he's sitting on the bench, and he's like,
21
you know what, trade me again.
There's
get it, but
literally
what's your
no
other
way
option?
James Harden plays like
If you have to trade him
close to a
again, then trade
complete
him.
season.
Re-sign him. If it works, it works.
Harden's a carrot. Harden's a clown.
and Embiid have played 21 games together.
Harden's a clown. And and Embiid is already like, okay, I'm done with this guy. He literally said, I don't think James Harden fits with the team. I wish we kept Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
He said that in the post-game press
Well,
conference.
they
guess
need
what?
they
They're
need
not
to
getting
revise
Jimmy
the
Butler.
lineup a little bit because
If
they're
I'm the
paying
Sixers-
Tobias
if I'm the
Harris like
Sixers-
$40 million.
If I'm the Sixers, if I'm not re-signing Harden, I'm trading Embiid.
Rebuild. Honestly, I think it's time.
But
The
if I'm keeping him,
Sixers-
if I'm keeping Embiid, I'm re-signing Harden, and either trading him or hoping it works. Because what's the other option? Just let him go.
I don't know.
You can still trade something for James Harden. I'm not letting
Dude,
him go.
you can without.
There's
But
a
you
team
have
out there that's
salary
gonna
relief
be-
if you're not paying some guy $40 million a year on or Supermax. Yeah. You can get players that complement Embiid, complement the system or whatever the fuck they're doing.
But you're not gonna
develop
win anything.
Maxey.
You're not going to win anything that way.
You don't
just
know.
Well,
You
they
just don't
traded
know.
they
Yeah.
traded players
No, look-
like that
look, to
for
me,
James
let's
Harden.
let's look at the Eastern Conference, bro. They're not beating the Bucks like that. Maybe. But
You can't-
Giannis is clearly better than Embiid, and he's going to last longer than Embiid.
It's like buying a team. Buying a team doesn't really work
And the
anymore.
Celtics, the Celtics are going to beat him every time.
Oh, now he likes the Celtics.
No, but let's just be honest. Like the Celtics are a better team.
Yeah.
They have a much brighter future with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
I said I don't like
With
this.
all the
I don't like
Nets
this. I
picks
think
from
I
the
don't like the Sixers' future.
Garnett
I think
picks.
they
I
missed
hate
their
it.
chance.
That's why
hate it.
I would trade Embiid before I traded Harden.
No.
They have to stay
What are you
competitive.
talking
in the
about?
East.
I would trade Embiid and get something and get like
You're not gonna build around Harden if you're
Let's
Philly.
be-
You're not doing
If
that.
I'm-
Insane.
You're not doing that.
if I'm the Celtics, I'm giving up Jaylen Brown and
What? No, Celtics
Embiid.
aren't breaking up the team.
All right. Let's
No,
move on
for
to Celtics.
Embiid?
How about we
For
talk about?
Embiid?
How about we talk about the
How about we
playoffs?
talk about my Celtics
How about we talk about the
making
playoffs?
Eastern Conference
Let's talk
Finals?
about the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think that the Celtics Heat matchup
Yeah,
is
this man, hold on. He just said my Celtics. He's a fucking Knicks fan.
Okay, don't try to tell me there's any type of rivalry between the Knicks and the Celtics, because there isn't.
My Celtics.
My Celtics.
My Celtics. No. Not that I like the. Not that I'm like a fan of the team, but
Sure, you don't hurt your
I've
feelings
said
too much?
from the beginning of the playoffs, I like the Celtics to win the finals, and you motherfuckers were like, no, bro, Bucks and 6, Bucks and 5.
Okay, but if the Bucks had Chris Middleton, they're winning that series in at
Oh,
least.
Joe, you know what?
Six,
Well,
six.
guess what? They didn't have Chris Middleton, and they lost the series.
In all seriousness, like, okay.
Celtics
They
are-
let Grant
Celtics are
Williams
really
hit
good.
7 threes because Budenholzer's a fucking knobhead.
In all seriousness, I don't think all these teams are frauds. I just don't.
I just don't like the Celtics.
You know who's not the fraud?
Like the Celtics are really good. I just don't like the
genuinely
Celtics.
don't know
I
who's
just
going to win this.
fucking
series.
hate the
I really don't.
Oh, it's the
No,
Celtics.
I think it's gonna be the Celtics.
Celtics in 5.
So this is a defensive matchup. You know, Heat have guys to throw at the Celtics. The Celtics have guys to throw at the Heat, but the Celtics are just so much better of a defensive team than the Heat, and they have so much more offensive
I don't think that's
not even
superpower.
close.
I don't think that's true.
The Celtics are a better
think that's
defensive
true. I
team than
really
the Heat,
don't.
You don't think that's true?
and
I
they
don't.
have a lot of more
I think they're
offensive
very
power
even.
than the Heat.
That I'll give you. That's where I'm taking the Celtics in the series.
And the Celtics are just really good at
Defensively,
home.
I think they're practically the same team.
I think the only team
The
that has.
Celtics have potential to be a better defensive team.
Listen,
And what's
listen.
really nice,
But they're not-
what
they're
Patrick brought up the other day was that something about the Heat, like the Heat, there's no way the Heat win because they dropped 2 games to the 76ers. First of all, the Heat, Bam Adebayo has a much better situation against the Celtics series than he does against the 76ers. Bam Adebayo simply could not guard Joel Embiid at all. But he has a much less tougher assignment against the Celtics. Like, he's gonna have to guard like their best guys, but the Celtics don't have a big, like, a Joel Embiid to throw at him. Like, yeah, they got like Al Horford or like Grant Williams or like Daniel Tice, but those aren't Joel Embiid guys. Those aren't big guys. You're just gonna bully him in the paint. You know, he's also a really great wing defender. The Heat have really great wing defenders, and who do the Celtics have? The Celtics literally have a bunch of.
Oh, listen,
Oh,
this is
they
what it
only
comes-
have the defensive player of the year.
This is
Joe.
why the
Honestly.
Celtics are in the series, and it's just simple.
But also, the Celtics
It's
don't have a true point
It's really
guard.
this simple. Bam Adebayo and Al Horford practically cancel out.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. They practically do.
Jason Tatum.
I swear to God,
Jason Tatum and
somebody
Jimmy Butler.
paid Al Horford to suck ass on the Sixers because he's fucking good as
He just
fuck.
plays really good with the Celtics.
He's so good on the Celtics. It's like insane.
Jason
He was
Tatum-
like the worst player in the league on the Sixers, dude.
Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler are going to cancel out. Who's left for Jaylen Brown? Because Jimmy
Victor
Butler
Oladipo does
Jimmy
not match
Butler
up.
ain't
You're not
canceling out.
you're not gonna have Bam
Jimmy-
Adebayo locked on the Al Horford the whole series. He's gonna guard multiple players.
I know,
Cole.
but the Celtics
You're not gonna have
are-
Jimmy Butler locked on Jason
Whenever
Tatum.
you say
the whole
matchup
series.
wise, Joe.
No, but you're not having. I trust the other players on the Celtics more than I do the others on the Heat.
But what happens when Jason Tatum has his like his like weekly 2 of 25 game? You know, like he
That's
just
the
has
game
that.
Then they lose a game.
This is
Celtics in
this
5.
is what the Heat need. If Oladipo
Oladipo needs to play better.
Oladipo is the key for the Heat. In the
I think
series. They can win the series, but they need Oladipo.
I don't think
or be better than
They
Jimmy
also-
Butler.
Oladipo does not have.
They
the,
really
he
need
doesn't have the talent.
Max
Here's why I
Struss.
don't think
Max
it's gonna
Struss has been starting games for the Heat, and he was shooting so well in those games against the 76ers.
Listen,
He needs to play well.
it comes down to this: Oladipo's the key for the Heat. With Marcus Smart on him, I can't see him being that.
Oladipo's fairly good
That's why I
defensively.
think.
though.
That's why I'm taking.
You
the Celtics.
put Marcus Smart on Jimmy Butler.
I'm
He cutting half the production he's
I'm
doing.
taking
right
the
now.
Celtics.
Honestly,
I'm taking the Celtics.
that's how good. That's how
Jimmy
good.
Butler's
That's how
av-
good Marcus Smart is defensively.
Jimmy Butler's
I just-
averaging
I'll just-
29
say
in the
one thing.
playoffs this year. He's
Yeah, cut it in
averaging
half.
29.
Cut it in
I
half.
just want to say-
Honestly, I don't think Miami going.
No, it's okay, guys. I was gonna say what my prediction is.
Okay, Cole, what's your prediction?
Let me say this first. Miami's not home court advantage. If you go to look at a Miami Heat game on TV, There were like
No, in the
half
playoffs,
the
they get
attendance
down.
there.
They
They
get down.
suck.
No. They get down in Miami.
No, they don't.
They
Cole,
get down.
have you watched the games? No one comes to the games.
It's Miami.
No one gives a
though.
fuck.
It's Miami.
They're all at
they-
the beach.
In the playoffs, they get down.
No,
When it
no.
matters.
You're thinking when LeBron was there. If you watch the playoffs in Miami, no
The
one
white
comes to
hot
the
heat.
Sorry,
fucking
no one
games.
was coming to watch Miami blow out the Sixers and the Hawks, dude. Like they're gonna come for Boston. Anyway,
No,
They'll come for Boston.
I'm taking
No.
the.
no one cares about basketball, man.
I'm taking the Celtics
Celtics in 6.
in. Oh,
I'm
how many
taking.
bad games is Tatum gonna have?
Celtics. I think he has
I'm
one.
gonna take the Celtics in 7 because Tatum's gonna have.
You know,
3
my
bad
heart
games.
really.
No, I'm just kidding.
No,
I think
Celtics. No, Celtics in 6. Tatum has one really bad game where they get blown out and they lose like a heartbreaker in Austin. Like
I'm taking Celtics in 5. Tatum and Brown.
Jimmy Butler also has really good playoff experience. Like he's known to like.
That's the only thing the Heat really.
He's
have.
played really well in the playoffs.
The experience on the.
I mean, they got a great coach.
And they also
then
got
again,
Kyle
the
Lowry. Is
Celtics
Kyle
all-
Lowry gonna play in the
They
series?
got a great
Celtics
coach.
also have experience though.
Listen,
Kyle Lowry
listen,
gonna
the
play in
Heat
the
are not
series, though?
scrubs. They got a great coach. They got talented players. I just think it's a better matchup for the Celtics than
No, I have said it from the beginning. I think the Heat are kind of frauds. I really don't think they're as good as people think. I really don't.
I just really want the Heat to
They
win.
remind me of the Suns a little bit.
So my heart wants to say Heat in 6, but I think it's gonna be Celtics in 7.
If the Heat win, it's gonna be in 7. That's all.
Yeah, no,
If
that's
the Celtics win, it's gonna be in 5.
I have a hard time seeing Heat winning like 2 games in Boston. Like, there's no way.
it's not gonna happen.
They're not gonna win 2 games in Boston.
not
They're gonna the most they'll win is 1.
Well, they don't need to, do they? They have home court.
They have home court, but
But
like I
still,
said, Miami
you,
home court
you know,
ain't
you
shit.
kind of need to like.
you need still something on the road.
As soon as the Celtics win a game in Miami, it's over.
I think-
what
I
they're gonna
think-
do tonight.
I think the Celtics are gonna split. Miami's gonna split, and then they're gonna go.
I think
up,
Celtics
like-
win game tonight. Miami wins game 2. Celtics win both at home. Miami goes.
Really, what the Heat need is someone to step up and be the second scoring option because they haven't had a clear one.
I mean, they have Tyler Hero.
needs
He's
to be-
averaging like 20 something off the bench.
Not in the playoffs though. He's averaging like 13. In the
They have
playoffs.
Max Truss, who's been shooting really.
That's the problem though. They need one guy.
Bam needs to score more. Bam
He does.
did
Yeah.
not
He
score
does,
well
but
in
they
the
need-
Sixers
They
series.
need one
No,
guy to come in.
Gabe
and
Vincent.
Be the Gabe Vincent. They need one guy to just separate himself from the. They have a bunch.
Shane Battier.
They have a bunch of.
Jimmy Butler can't. They're not gonna win the series off Jimmy Butler averaging
Right
like
now,
25.
look at their team right now. It's Jimmy Butler, and they have a bunch of third options. They need somebody to step up and be the second option.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think it should be Bam.
Like the Celtics have a
I-
bunch
you
of
know-
third options, and Jaylen Brown is a second. Jason Tatum.
I think it should be Mario Chalmers.
Bam Adebayo averages like 40 points a game whenever he plays the Nets.
You know
Bam
what,
Adebayo
hold on.
plays so well every time they play the Nets. I swear, he's like a Nets killer. Every
Yeah.
time he has like 30 point triple double. Against any other team, yeah.
Jason
like,
Tatum.
averages, like,
Jason Tatum is a
12
Knicks
points.
killer, but I can't help to like the guy. That's just what it is.
I don't know. I just really hate Celtics fans. Like, I don't really mind Tatum or like Jaylen Brown. Or Celtics fans, I just can't. I can't stand them. I just hate them.
Let's talk about Mavs Warriors.
Yeah.
What we got for that series?
I mean, if Luka can average like
I think
40,
these are going to be
then
good series,
Mavs-
honestly.
I want to say Warriors in 6.
I'm taking.
Warriors in 6. They have home court advantage.
I'm taking.
But if
I think Luka. You know how
I don't think
this
the
it
Mavs
goes
are
like
going to keep
this.
clicking like this, but if they do, I think they very well.
I think the
can win
Warriors
series.
win both home games to start. They split in Dallas. Dallas takes another game, 3-2, and then the Warriors close it in Dallas.
I think.
I'm taking Mavs in 5.
Wow! Really?
All right, break it down for me, Cole.
That's
how do you
interesting.
see Mavs
I
in
just have this
5?
gut feeling. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just feel like
That the
Mavs-
Warriors are just gonna fall like this dynasty that's been at the top of the NBA world for like the past 6 years, just gonna fall
Yeah, who am
apart
I
to
kidding?
Luka
Warriors,
Doncic.
Warriors in 6.
Oh my God!
my
Look
God,
at
look at
the
this-
fiddle. Oh
look
my
at this
goodness.
guy.
I want to pick the Mavs. But
Oh!
I can't. It doesn't make sense.
You just
Fuck
said,
it,
you said
fuck it,
Steph.
imagine it.
You said Steph Curry was like the second best point guard of all time. He's like, nah, he's gonna lose to Luka Doncic in the Western
Dude,
Conference
I
Finals.
just don't like.
I can see. I can
don't want
honestly
the
see them.
Warriors to win.
No, I can see them winning.
I could.
No,
the
I
Nets.
would love a Heat Mavericks final. Like I
can see
want
the
that
Mavs
so
win, but
much.
It doesn't make sense.
Just because-
I want Warriors Celtics.
I just want
That's
Luka-
sexy. That's sex.
What do you, Adam Silver would love.
I want.
Warriors
I
Celtics.
want.
Yeah, Adam Silver
want-
screaming
That's
like,
like big money.
I
He's like,
want-
come on, Tatum.
I want Heat
Big
Mavs,
money.
dude. That's what I want.
No, yeah, exactly.
God awful.
I'm rooting for those
Yeah,
guys.
that's hideous.
I want the Heat and Mavs.
Dallas?
I like Jimmy Butler. I want Jimmy Butler to lead a team to a ring.
want
I think
Jimmy
that would be
Butler-
I think
massive.
Jimmy Butler's coming to the Knicks.
I think if it's Heat Mavs, then it's like either Luka leads the team to the ring or Jimmy Butler leads the team to the ring. I would love either one.
Honestly, I'm happy with everybody winning a championship except for the Warriors because I've seen them do it three fucking times.
Also, Luka Doncic, the past 2 years, so his rookie year didn't make the playoffs. He was very good though. He won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Second and third year, they make the playoffs, but they lose in the first round of the Clippers both years.
But like Luka played out.
And like in the first series, they lost in like 6 games, something like that. I know in the second series they lost in 7 games. They lost in the game 7.
Yeah.
But this year, but this year he comes out. They beat the Jazz in the first round.
I meant Luka.
In 6 games.
But
you know
John
the
Stockton
fraud
is just
Jazz. The fraud Jazz. And then they go out.
Dude,
and
the Jazz are such a joke.
They
bro.
beat the 64-win Suns in the second round. I think Luka is definitely.
I want to talk about Luka's first 2 playoff series.
This
coming in.
This kind of
Luka is the guy.
kind of mirrors the Mavs run in 2011. Because didn't they beat the Lakers
but they
that had like
faced
62
the
wings?
Jazz in the
That's
first
why I'm
round.
telling you, bro. Mavs in 5, Mavs Heat, Mavs win the finals.
Mavs in 4 in the finals.
You know, I wouldn't even mind.
Can I talk about Luka's first 2 playoffs?
Dude,
'Cause
Celtics in 3.
a lot of people were like, "Oh, Luka has made it the first round." He averaged 34, 9 and 10 on 49,
dominating the Clippers.
Like,
I mean,
he
can
did
you blame,
just-
Did you
can
watch the games?
Can you blame him losing to Kawhi Leonard and Paul
He
George?
fucking carried their asses to any
He
win.
dragged them.
Yeah.
Can you blame him for losing to Kawhi Leonard and Paul
No,
George?
You can't. You really can't.
You can't.
I mean, this is honestly his worst playoff run.
Zubac?
Like, if you
What is
really
Zubac?
look at the
Because
numbers,
Zubac?
this is his worst playoff.
Zubac?
Zubac?
God, Zubac.
Is that it for today?
He's destroying.
Zubac!
Do we have anything
Bro,
else?
Celtics in 2.
Do we have?
Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
don't
my
give a shit,
Cole.
to be honest.
You have no idea how big this is because
This is like
Kylian
the biggest thing in the
Mbappe-
world.
Mbappe and Benzema.
Mbappe is one of, if not
Best
the
players-
best players on the planet.
PSG fumbled the bag.
PSG is a joke.
PSG is a joke.
They shouldn't let them in the Champions League anymore.
I have a question.
Don't
for you
they
guys.
have Messi?
They have Messi, Neymar.
Is Neymar still?
Neymar's
Neymar still there?
Neymarcito?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. How do you guys feel about Mo Salah? Because on
Now Di Maria can play from the man on the
Di
floor.
Maria can play from the homeless man on the floor. Di Maria, he was an Argentina legend.
Yeah, Joe?
Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, Mike? Mr. Kevin Durant on the
Anyway.
floor.
Yo, Kevin Durant's sleeping on our floor right now, guys.
what do you guys think of who do you think is gonna win the Ballon d'Or? And question,
Benzema.
I've heard
Balloon.
a lot of people say like Mo Salah is like the best player in the world, but like
All right,
then I also
listen
hear
to
people
Mo
say
Salah's
he's
very
not
good.
that good and he's just a system player who's just like the system is so good that it makes him.
I mean,
so
Liverpool
Jurgen-
is so well
Jurgen
coached and
Klopp
put
is
together.
such a good coach.
He's just so good.
I don't know if Salah would be as good on like a PSG or a Barcelona or a Real Madrid, like purely like how he plays
because
and how many assists and
I've
goals he has.
watched a few games and it's not impressive. I gotta be honest. Like he's a good player. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but like
Didn't Mo Salah win
yes, he
Ballon
scores goals
d'Or?
and shit, but it's not very impressive.
But
Like when you watch,
if you
Messi
watched
score a
his
goal,
first year with Liverpool, when he was like the best player on the planet, it was unbelievable.
Oh my God,
I think
he
now
was
they brought
so
in now they brought in
good.
Sane,
And then in Egypt, he plays so well for Egypt.
yeah, I mean he's.
Trent
A,
Alexander Arnold.
can you stop farting?
Jesus Christ!
Oh my
Jesus.
God, Mike.
But anyway,
We're getting gassed.
Wait, do you guys want to play FIFA tonight?
Dude, I have like FIFA 14.
dude, I'm so.
No, you know what the best FIFA is? The FIFA World Cup. World Cup FIFA, like the 2014.
That's so good.
That was
I have
the,
like FIFA
that was
14
the best
and
game
15.
of all
That's
time.
That was the best game of all time. Yeah.
I used to do the Be a Pro or whatever
Yep.
and make myself for myself on USA and win the World Cup.
Remember your birthday one year? We literally just sat down, played that game on the Xbox 360.
Hours,
Dude, that game was so fun. Holy heck.
Remember we used to play fucking
Yeah.
MLB 2K13 or something
For like 2 days straight.
Yeah, Patrick would stay over my house like for 3 days straight. We wouldn't sleep and just play MLB 2K13 with like Justin Verlander on the cover.
Can you stop?
Jeez, Mike.
Farting!
Holy shit.
Leave!
This man's been sleeping. I hope you heard him snoring at one point.
You got a homeless man
Walk in
sleeping on
front
the
of
floor.
camera.
Oh, I'm so excited for the
Drizzy.
Kenobi series, bro.
Okay, Kenobi series. We're coming on here breaking down every fucking single.
What is that,
episode.
May 27th?
I'm
10 days.
I'm so
The
excited.
first 2 episodes.
Wait, May
drop
27th? That's next Friday, right? Next
Yes.
Friday?
That's Lucas's
in
prom.
10 days.
Well, we're going over to your house and watching.
Me
it.
and Patrick are going to your house. Me and Patrick are going to your house and watching.
Something's
Yeah,
going
we're
on
gonna watch
today. That's my birthday weekend.
Shut up, Joe. No one gives a fuck about your guy.
I know, but me and Patrick
My
are
bad.
going to your house and watching it.
Not that week.
No,
No,
but
we
we
are.
are. We're just gonna walk in there and watch it. Jesus, Mike.
Dude,
All right, we got it. We're in. It's done.
No, what do we have?
This
else to
homeless
talk
man
about?
is spitting on me.
Do we have anything else to talk about or not?
Okay, so what? Okay, so we all said
I
the
feel like we're
semi.
missing something.
We all said the semifinal predictions. So I think we all picked Warriors Celtics final, right?
Yeah.
So who do we got in the final? If that's the case.
Celtics.
Warriors in 4.
Celtics.
Warriors are just so much
Celtics.
better than every
Celtics in 2.5.
playoffs right now.
Celtics in 2.5.
I feel like if that final occurs, and the Celtics keep playing up
I'm
to the
telling
par
you,
that
the
they've been playing in the playoffs.
Whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference has no chance of winning
The
final.
Celtics are
No,
by
no.
far the most the best defensive team
Celtics-
left in the
The
playoffs.
winner of the
and
finals
defense,
is the winner of the Western Conference.
And deep.
Tell
What do
me.
you, how
If
do
the
you say
Celtics-
that?
no, if
Because
the
they have
Celtics
no
the
win,
Celtics were the best team the second half of the season. It wasn't even close.
I'm sorry, but if Celtics win the finals this year,
They took down the Nets. Oh, the Nets. They have the best players in the league. They're gonna win the championship. Just wait till they get to the playoffs. Slipped. Defending champions. Oh, there's no chance. Oh, Giannis is so good. And they're out of here. Celtics to the moon.
if they beat the Warriors in the
Yo,
finals,
he's a Knicks fan.
that's got to be like one of the greatest
Fuck the
playoff.
Knicks.
It's got to be like one of the greatest
I'm done.
playoff runs ever.
I can't do it. Sign fucking Evan Fournier.
But what about RJ Barrett?
I love RJ Barrett. The rest of the team fucking stinks.
Trade RJ Barrett to the Celtics. I'll become a
The rest of
Celtics
the
fan.
team stinks. I can't think with the Knicks. I'm a Celtics fan. I can't do it. The Knicks are god awful.
He's gonna
Fuck Trae Young.
Watch him pull up in a Bruins jersey tomorrow.
Trae Young.
Fuck the Islanders.
No,
Trae
the
Young.
Islanders.
Bing bong.
How about
Fuck Trae Young. You looks like my dad's dick.
Fuck you, the Creed fucking sucked.
now he's on the Mavs about to win the championship.
Okay, can we go? As I was saying.
Well, we got our next TikTok.
yeah.
I'm lightheaded. I have to.
Okay. No. Okay. Hold on. I was just about to say this before Pat decided to become a Celtics fan. If the Celtics win the finals, if the Celtics
Yo, you wanna grab me
win
another water?
the finals against the Warriors, this has got to be like one of the greatest playoff runs.
Oh my god.
That's so sick.
Oh my God! Cole just capped it, tossing it across the room.
That's a moment in history.
That is a
Right
moment in
down.
history.
You were
That's
here.
a moment in history.
Wait, can we pan the camera on that?
No.
Lucas!
Lucas, Drizzy.
All right, he's done. I think we're done.
No, Joe has something else to say.
Joe, you got something to say?
Yeah, finally. Okay, so basic.
Mike! Stop farting!
Mike.
Leave. Go in the other room. Go in the other room. Go in the other
Look at
room.
this massive baby on our floor.
Yo, he looks like the Michelin Man.
He looks like the freaking Pampers baby from the commercial.
Mike looks like a stork just dropped him off my front door.
Mike's looking like the goddamn marshmallow guy from Ghostbusters.
From Ghostbusters. No, that's you,
He
Mike.
looks like the Michelin Man.
Oh my! Turn around, turn
Hey,
around.
Cole, Mike, go stand in front of the camera. You look like the Michelin Man.
Nope.
That's Lucas.
Put him in a Nets jersey. That's you.
No, that's
my
Lucas
goodness.
walking around. I got game.
bro.
I got game.
Oh, jeez.
That's Kevin Durant.
Okay.
What are we saying, Joe?
Okay.
I want to make a peek.
No, Mike.
Mike, shut
Mike,
up.
what happened
I will
to?
document Lucas at prom trying to pull checks.
I don't. Do we have a call on the poll today? Are we gonna do it?
Nah, it's.
Okay, wait. Can I say what? Can I without any interruptions?
No, Joe, you can't.
Okay.
It's not this podcast. We're just gonna interrupt you.
Okay, so if the
Wait,
Celtics win the
wait,
finals
wait,
against the
wait, wait,
Warriors,
wait,
it's gonna be one of the greatest playoff runs of all time
wait,
because they beat Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and then they beat Giannis, and then they beat Jimmy Butler, Bama,
It sucks,
and then they beat Steph Curry.
The problem is.
I'm just saying.
One of all time.
No. I'm not saying of all time. Are you kidding me? I'm just saying that is a very significant playoff run
only
if they beat the
problem-
Warriors in the
only
finals.
problem with this theory is that the Celtics have to win the finals, and they're not going to.
Cole.
No,
when
I'm
the Celtics,
just saying,
Cole, when the Celtics
theoret-
win the finals, you have to shave your head.
Hypothetically.
I will buy a Jason Tatum jersey if they win the
Okay,
finals.
Celtics, Warriors finals, Warriors in 6.
You can't back down from this. You're
won't.
buying a Jason Tatum jersey, and
I'm
you're
not-
wearing it after
I'll
they win
wear
the
it
finals.
backwards so Tatum is across my chest.
Yes.
What was that?
Lake it slow.
Make it slow. All right, that's
All
it.
right.
All right.
Do the outro.
This is the outro.
Scooch.
Stop watching this.
Stop.
This is over. Please click off. If you're listening to this, pause it and go away. Go do something with your life.
Leave.
Stop listening to this. Bye.
Lucas, we're done. Lucas, shut off the camera.
Oh, I know!
Can you fucking do something?
Oh, can I do something?